Welcome to day 4 of Stress to Blessed. How have you been doing with days 1 through 3? If you haven't watched days 1 through 3, a little recap is we focused on breathing, the importance of taking deep breaths in, hold for a count of 4, and release for a count of 4, and how important it is to pay attention to our breath and to make sure we are taking those deep breaths in, so that way we are really connecting with ourselves. And when we take our deep breaths in, it signals our brain that it needs to relax. So paying attention to your breath. We also discussed body scans. And if you're not familiar with body scans, we hold all of our stress and all of our tension, all of our emotions in certain places in our body. And everybody has a different place that they hold on to them. It's not always the same, even from one emotion to the next. You know, a stress tension about our kids can be held in one place, and about our spouses or, other things can be held in another place. And paying attention to where that tension is, and paying attention to where we hold our stress, that allows us to breathe into it and release it. And it also gives us forewarning that maybe things are going on in the background that we don't realize and that we need to pay better attention to. We also talked about gratitude and how gratitude is so incredibly important, but the most important aspect about gratitude is to have gratefulness for the really kind of crappy things in life. And when we can find gratitude in those things, or when we find gratitude in the hard times, that is really what will change our life in leaps and bounds. And feeling that gratitude throughout our whole entire body is incredibly important, because it changes our cells and actually creates different processes within our brain, that it becomes an automatic instead of, we have to remember, we have to think about being grateful. So practicing all of these steps over throughout your day, in our days is what will create automatic process. So that way our subconscious mind is directing us to do healthy coping mechanisms instead of the unhealthy, stressful coping mechanisms that we have. So for day 4, we have one action step. And the reason we only have one action step is I really, really, really need you to practice the breathing and the body scans and becoming more aware of where you are, so that way we really can affect the most pronounced change within you and really create that whole entire scenario of going from being incredibly stressed to being blessed. So today's activity, you need a pen and paper for it. If you don't have a pen and paper nearby, pause the video and go and get a pen and paper to complete this activity. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to think of something that happened today that has just been on your mind. One of your worries. Maybe it's a worry that happens all the time that you're super stressed about. You have a child who, that you're really super worried about, or, anything, the money, those kinds of things. I want you to write that worry down. Okay? All right, now that you've written it down, I want you to imagine what the worst case scenario is. So if absolute worst case scenario happened, what would that be? And write that down. Write what that worst case scenario would be. Can you feel the tension start to rise in your body? Can you feel your breathing start to get really shallow? That's usually what happens when we start, thinking of those stressful things and really feeling in our body how that worry is coming about. Okay, now that you have the worry written down, you have the worst case scenario written down, you're feeling it in your body, and it really feels kind of, icky and heavy and just horrible. I want you to destroy that piece of paper. However you feel fit, destroy it. You can scribble all over it, you can crumple it up, you can rip it into pieces. I just want you to absolutely destroy it. And as you're destroying it, I want you to set the intention that this is no longer going to control you. Okay? that this worry no longer has the power to control you. Okay. Now when that is all done, I want you to sit and then to take a few deep breaths, okay? And we'll do them together. So we'll breathe in, hold it, and release. Okay, let's bring our bodies back to center. Keep breathing. Remember, we're coming back to center. We've destroyed that. We're done with that. That is not controlling us any longer. We will not let that take hold in our body, and we will not let that affect us. Okay, now that we're back in center, I want you to imagine what the exact opposite of the worst case scenario would be. So if things went the best that they possibly could, what would that look like? So everything is going the absolute best. That is the best case scenario that could be. In fact, it's probably better than your wildest imagination. It is so amazing that you cannot believe it. And you kind of sit there stunned like, wow, that really did happen. And that was amazing. And I really needed that. And how does that feel? Can you feel it start coming up in your body? Everything's starting to relax, but you're kind of excited. You can feel that, in your belly, that it's like, yes, that did happen. And that was amazing. That was super cool. Awesome. Okay, now you have that feeling. Feel that. What does that feel like? To feel relaxed. To know that the best thing could possibly happen. That is a viable option. That is a viable option. And that option feels really, really good. I want you to take a minute and I want you to feel it. And as you're feeling it, set the intention that this feeling is what you're going to hold on to. This feeling is what you're going to hold on to. And no matter what happens with the worry, knowing that you can always go back into this feeling, that there's something in whatever happens, whatever that worry is, that maybe was there to teach you, or that have you ever had that where something really terrible happened, and it might be 6 months, a year down the line, but you look back and you're like, oh, I'm really kind of grateful that happened, because even though it didn't feel like it at the time, there was a very big benefit to it. So knowing that you can go back into that space, right? There's something that you can find that you're grateful for. Okay, that's it. That's it for day 4. So continue practicing breathing, body scans, paying attention to your thoughts, paying attention to where you're at, and finding gratitude in all the things. Today's gratitude is to find something to be grateful for about the worry that you had today. What in it can you be grateful for? And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for day 5 of Stress to Blessed on Periscope. Thank you. Bye.